Chapter 15. This was the story of the kind family in the cottage. I loved them, and their story made me think deeply. I learned to admire their good qualities and to dislike the bad things people sometimes do. At that time, I thought crime was something far away. I only saw kindness and generosity, and I wanted to be part of that world. But something important happened in August. One night, I went to the nearby forest to find food and wood, as I often did. While walking, I found a leather bag on the ground. It had some clothes and 3 books. I took the bag back to my home. Luckily, the books were in the language I had learned from listening to the family. The books were Paradise Lost, Plutarch's Lives, The Sorrows of Werther. I was very excited. I read them again and again. They made me feel many new things. Sometimes I was happy, but more often I felt very sad. The Sorrows of Werther had a simple, emotional story. It also talked about many ideas I had never thought about before. It made me think a lot. I felt that Werther was a special person. He was kind and deep, not proud. I cried when he died, even though I didn't fully understand why. While reading, I also thought about my own life. I felt both similar and different to the people in the books. I could understand their feelings, but I was alone. I didn't have a family or friends. I had no one. I was big and ugly. I often asked myself, who am I? Where did I come from? Why was I made? Plutarch's Lives was very different from Werther. It told stories about important men from history. These people led countries and made laws. This book made me dream of being good and noble. I wanted to be like the heroes in the stories. I admired people like Numa, Solon, and Lycurgus because they made peace, not war. But Paradise Lost made me feel even more deeply. I thought it was a true story. It talked about God and the battle between him and his creations. Like Adam, I had no other being like me. But Adam was made perfect and happy. I was lonely and sad. Sometimes I felt more like Satan because I was jealous when I saw the happy family. Later, I found some papers in a coat I had taken from your lab. At first, I didn't care about them, but now I could read them. They were your notes, Victor. You wrote everything about how you made me. You also wrote how ugly and disgusting I was. I felt sick when I read it. I shouted, "Horrible day," when I was born. Victor, why did you make me so terrible that even you hate me? God made man beautiful, but I am ugly and awful. Even Satan had other devils as friends, but I am alone and hated. When I felt very sad and lonely, I thought about the family in the cottage. They were kind and loving. I believed that if they saw I admired their goodness, they might feel sorry for me and look past my appearance. Could they really send me away if I came kindly and asked for friendship? So I waited. I wanted to be ready before I spoke to them. I wanted to speak well and understand more. Every day I became smarter, so I decided to wait a few more months. During this time, things changed in the cottage. Safety made everyone happy. There was more food. Felix and Agatha laughed more. They had servants now, too. They weren't rich, but they were happy. Their lives were peaceful. But mine was not. Learning more only made me feel worse. I had hope, but every time I saw my reflection in water or in moonlight, that hope disappeared. I looked terrible. Still, I told myself not to give up. I dreamed about being with kind people who would comfort me. I imagined smiles and love. But it was only a dream. I had no Eve. I had no one. I remembered how Adam talked to God, but who could I speak to? My Creator had left me, and I cursed him. Autumn came. I saw the leaves fall. Everything looked sad again, like when I first came to life. But I didn't care about the cold. I could survive it. I missed the flowers and the birds of summer. When they were gone, I watched the family more. They stayed happy even without summer. They loved each other, and that gave them joy. I wanted to be loved by them too. That was all I wanted. They were always kind to the poor. Would they also be kind to me? Winter came. It had been a full year since I first opened my eyes. I thought only about one thing: how to meet the family. I made many plans. In the end, I decided to go into the house when the old man, De Lacy, was alone. He was blind and couldn't see how ugly I was. My voice was rough, but not scary. Maybe he could help the others accept me. One day, the sun was shining and the air was cool. Felix, Agatha, and Safie went for a walk. The old man stayed home alone. He played sad music on his guitar. Then he became quiet and thoughtful. My heart beat fast. This was my chance. The servants were also away. It was silent. I got up, moved the wood that hid my small shelter, and walked to the door. I knocked. "Who is there?" the old man said. "Come in." I entered. "I'm sorry to come in like this," I said. "I am a traveler. Can I sit by your fire and rest for a while?" "Come in," he said. "I will help you if I can. But my children are not home, and I am blind, so I can't get food easily." "Don't worry," I replied. "I have food. I just need a place to sit and warm up." I sat down. There was silence. I knew time was short, but I didn't know how to begin. Then the old man spoke. "You sound like you're from my country." "Are you French?" "No. But a French family taught me, so I speak their language. I'm going to ask some friends for help. I love them, and I hope they will accept me." "Are they German?" "No, they are French. But let's change the subject. I am lonely and sad. I have no friends in the world. These people have never seen me. They don't know who I really am. I am scared. If they don't accept me, I will be alone forever." "Don't give up," the old man said. People are often kind when they don't judge others unfairly. If your friends are good people, they may accept you. They are very kind. But they are afraid of me because of how I look. I have tried to be good. I have never hurt anyone. But they think I am dangerous. I want to change their minds. If you haven't done anything wrong, maybe they will understand. Can you not show them your true self? That is my plan. But I am very afraid. I love them so much. I have done many kind things for them, without them knowing. But they think I am their enemy. I want to prove I am not. Where do these friends live? He asked. Close to this place, I answered. The old man was quiet for a moment. Then he said, if you tell me everything honestly, maybe I can help. I am blind and cannot see your face, but your words sound honest. I am poor and far from my home, but I will be happy to help a fellow human being. Thank you, kind man. You are the first person to speak kindly to me. I am full of hope now. Maybe, with your help, I will not be alone forever. May I know who your friends are and where they live? I paused. This was the moment. I had to speak or lose my chance forever. But I couldn't. My strength left me. I sat down and cried. Just then, I heard the steps of the others coming back. I had to act quickly. I grabbed the old man's hand and said, now is the time. Please protect me. You and your family are the ones I came to see. Don't turn away from me now. Dear God, the old man cried. Who are you? At that moment, the door opened. Felix, Safie, and Agatha walked in. When they saw me, they were terrified. Agatha fainted. Safie ran away. Felix rushed at me and pulled me from his father. He hit me hard with a stick. I could have fought back. I was strong. But I felt only sadness. I let him hurt me. When he tried to hit me again, I escaped from the house and ran back to my hiding place. Chapter 16. Cursed Creator, why did you give me life? Why didn't I end my life the moment I was born? I don't know. At that time, I was not completely hopeless. I was full of anger and wanted revenge. I wanted to destroy the cottage and hurt the people living in it. I wanted to hear them scream and suffer. That night, I left my hiding place and walked through the forest. I wasn't afraid of being seen anymore, so I screamed loudly. I felt like a wild animal, angry and free. I ran fast through the woods, knocking over everything in my way. It was a terrible night. The cold stars looked down on me like they were laughing. The trees moved in the wind, and sometimes I heard birds singing. Everything else was calm. Everyone else was happy or sleeping, except me. I felt like the devil, carrying a hell inside me. I wanted to destroy everything. But soon, I became too tired. I fell on the wet grass, feeling sick and full of despair. No one in the world would ever help me. Why should I be kind to people who hate me? No, I decided to fight against all humans, especially the one who made me and gave me this miserable life. The sun came up, and I heard people's voices. I knew I couldn't return to the cottage that day. So I hid in the bushes and thought about what had happened. The sunlight and fresh air made me feel a little better. I realized I had acted too quickly. Maybe I had made a mistake. The old man, de Lacy, had seemed interested in my words. I had been foolish to show myself to the others so suddenly. I should have become friends with the old man first and slowly introduced myself to the rest of the family. But I believed I could still fix things. I decided to go back, speak to the old man again, and try to make him understand me. These thoughts calmed me, and I slept deeply that afternoon. But my sleep was not peaceful. I dreamed again about the horrible scene from the day before, the women running away, and Felix pulling me away from his father. I woke up tired. It was already night. I left my hiding place to look for food. After I ate, I walked toward the cottage. Everything there was quiet. I went back into my small hut and waited for the family to wake up. But morning came, and no one came out. The sun rose higher, and still the cottage was silent. I was afraid something terrible had happened. The windows were dark, and I couldn't hear anything inside. The waiting was painful. Soon, two men from the village walked by. They stopped near the cottage and talked with many hand gestures. But I couldn't understand them. They spoke a different language than the de Lacys. A little later, Felix arrived with another man. I was surprised. Felix hadn't left the cottage earlier. I listened carefully. The other man said, "You will have to pay 3 months' rent and lose your garden's crops. I'm not trying to be unfair, so take a few days to think." Felix answered, "It's useless. We can't live here anymore. My father is in danger after what happened. My wife and sister are terrified. Please don't try to change my mind. Take the house back. We must leave." Felix was shaking as he said this. He and the man went inside the cottage briefly, then left. I never saw the de Lacy family again. I stayed in my little hut, feeling lost and hopeless. My only friends had left me. For the first time, I truly felt full of hate and wanted revenge. I didn't try to stop these feelings. I let them take over. I wanted to hurt and destroy. When I remembered de Lacy's kind voice, Agatha's gentle eyes, and the beauty of Safie, I cried. But then I remembered how they had rejected and left me. My anger came back. I couldn't hurt people, so I destroyed the plants in the garden. I waited for the moon to go down. Then I placed dry wood and straw around the cottage. The wind grew stronger. The clouds disappeared. The night was wild, and I felt mad with anger. I lit a branch on fire and danced around the cottage. When the moon finally sank, I threw the fire into the straw. The flames rose fast. The wind made the fire stronger, and the whole cottage burned quickly. Once I was sure no one could stop the fire, I left and went into the forest. Now, where should I go? I decided to leave this place and travel far away. But everywhere would be terrible for me. Then I remembered you. I had read in your papers that you were my creator. Who else should I turn to but the person who gave me life? I had learned geography from Felix's lessons to Safie. I knew you were from Geneva, so I decided to go there. I didn't know the way, but I knew I had to go southwest. The sun was my only guide. I didn't know any town names, and I couldn't ask anyone for help. But I didn't give up. I hated you, but you were the only one I could ask for help. I left in late autumn. I only walked at night, afraid of being seen. It was cold. It rained and snowed. Rivers were frozen. The ground was hard. I had no shelter. I cursed the day I was born. My kind nature was gone. Now I was full of anger and hate. As I got closer to Geneva, my desire for revenge grew stronger. I didn't stop, even when snow fell and rivers froze. I had a map, but I still got lost sometimes. My pain never stopped. When spring came and the snow melted, my feelings became even more bitter. I usually rested during the day and walked at night. One morning, I walked through a quiet forest. The sun was warm, and the air felt soft. I felt a little happy again. I even cried tears of joy and thanked the sun. As I walked, I reached a river. I was about to decide which way to go when I heard voices. I quickly hid. A young girl came running and laughing. But suddenly, she slipped and fell into the fast river. I ran out of my hiding place and jumped in. It was very hard, but I saved her and pulled her to the shore. She didn't wake up, so I tried to help her. Just then, a man came running. He must have been playing with her. When he saw me, he grabbed the girl and ran into the woods. I followed, not knowing why. He turned, aimed a gun at me, and shot. I fell to the ground, badly hurt, while the man ran away. So this was the reward for saving someone. I was in pain, with a bullet in my shoulder. My kind feelings were replaced with anger and hate. I fainted from the pain. For several weeks, I stayed in the forest, trying to heal. I didn't know if the bullet was still inside me. I had no way to treat the wound. I also felt angry at how unfairly I had been treated. I promised myself I would get revenge. After some time, my shoulder healed, and I kept traveling. But now, I couldn't enjoy the beauty of spring. It made me feel worse. Joy belonged to others, not me. After 2 months, I reached Geneva. It was evening. I hid in a field and thought about how I would talk to you. I was very tired and hungry. I couldn't enjoy the soft wind or the sunset over the mountains. I fell into a light sleep. Then, a young boy came running toward me. He looked happy and free. I suddenly thought, this child is too young to hate me. Maybe I can raise him as a friend. I grabbed the boy as he ran past. He screamed when he saw me and tried to cover his eyes. I said, "Child, don't be afraid. I won't hurt you. Listen to me." But he shouted, "Let me go, monster. You want to eat me? I'll tell my papa." I said, "You will never see your father again. You must come with me." He yelled, "Let me go? My father is M. Frankenstein. He will punish you." "Frankenstein?" I said. "You are the son of my enemy. You will be my first victim." He kept screaming and calling me names. I grabbed his throat to make him stop, and suddenly he was dead. I looked at his body and felt proud. I thought, I can bring pain, too. Now Frankenstein will suffer. This is just the beginning. Then I saw something shiny on the boy's chest. It was a picture of a beautiful woman. Her dark eyes and soft face touched me. But then I remembered, I could never have someone like her. If she saw me, she would be afraid. I became angry again. I left the place and found an empty barn to hide in. A young woman was sleeping inside. She wasn't as beautiful as the woman in the picture, but she looked kind. I thought, she smiles at everyone, except me. I whispered to her, pretending to be her lover. She moved in her sleep. I felt scared. If she woke and saw me, she would scream and call me a murderer. I became angry again. I decided she should suffer too. I had learned how to hurt others. I placed the picture in her clothes and left. For several days, I stayed near the place. Sometimes I wanted to find you. Sometimes I wanted to disappear. At last, I came to these mountains. I have been wandering here, full of pain that only you can end. We cannot part until you promise to do what I ask. I am alone and hated. But someone like me, ugly and alone, could understand me. You must create a companion for me.